While living in China, I had so many amazing opportunities, and one I'm going to go over now is being a spokeswoman, or essentially an ambassador for an imported wines and alcohol company. So what they were the, I think, the largest, second largest distributorship in China, which was huge, especially because it seemed like wine was just coming out, just really exploding at the time when I was there. So it was wonderful. They were opening all sorts of new wineries, new shops, and just, you know, the whole business in general was just taking off. I was really happy to be a part of something new and exciting. There were many benefits to them because I was able to go and just try and help out wherever possible. I not only was being their ambassador and speaking on their behalf with, you know, whatever information they let me have, I also tried to help in just the basic legwork. I like to help. It was a wonderful experience. Some of the benefits: I got to travel to places that weren't so well known for tourists or foreigners in general. I got to meet a lot of just regular people, which were wonderful. I got to see business practices, which are extremely different than the United States. I wouldn't say extreme, but they are different. I saw, you know, political leaders, also just business people, and, you know, their wives and everyone else just trying to, you know, what was the dynamic between everyone. I also saw a lot of shop openings. I got to see a lot of things. I got to try different food. I got to meet some famous artists, and I forgot their names, unfortunately. Some famous artists, and just experience new and wonderful things. I was really lucky how I got the job. It was really random. When I was there, I got a call. I lived in a hotel, which was wonderful. Loved it. And the random thing is I got a phone call on our hotel phone, and I was like, hello. And they're like, hi, is this Taralee? And I said, yes. And they said, hi, we would like to ask if you'd like to work with us. We have a job for you. And I'm like, I already work. I'm fine. You know, and I know this sounds strange, but you get approached for a lot of jobs there. I mean, as strange as it was, at least I did. I got approached for quite a few, which it gets a little weird and tiresome, and you know, it's complimentary, it's wonderful, but really it's not based on a lot of your actual work. And I was there as a teacher. I was happy, and I loved my students, and everything was good, right? But she said, you know, it'd be really neat. You could travel around, you can meet a lot of people, do all these things. And I thought, you know, that sounds kind of exciting, and let me just open my mind to this. So I said, fine, you know. And at first, so when she was telling me this, I was like, no, thank you, I'm not really interested. And then I was like, how did she get my number? And then I thought, are my friends like playing a practical joke on me? Because that was just so strange. Well, it turns out I went to a friend's birthday party that night. We had a great time, and actually the woman was at my hotel saying, we're in the lobby, we want to meet you. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm busy. Like, this is completely out of the blue, and I'm really like only halfway interested. So I said, maybe we'll meet tomorrow. And she's like, okay. So it was cool. So I went out to my friend's party, had a great time, enjoyed it with everyone, told them about the strange experience, and they're like, that is strange, but good luck. And I was like, okay, why not, you know? So the next day I actually met with her, and it was completely legitimate. It was wonderful. We talked about resumes. I actually tried to get one of my friends the job too. So we put in her resume also. And I had to obviously clear it with the school before I was allowed to actually do any other work. You have to clear it in writing. So you have to tell me distinctly what is going on, just everything. I mean, it's like a report, and then they have to clear it. And then once you get the clearance, then you can do something else, so you can do multiple jobs. It's extremely important. So don't go to another country and just start working when you're not supposed to. So I did. I went through all the clearance, all of that. And the first job, it was amazing. I had a girl who met me at my house. Her name was Lele. Loved her. She was fun. She came over, met me at the hotel. We went down. I had a driver there. We went, and essentially they had train tickets. I went on the train, went to the destination. I can't recall. I honestly went to so many places. I don't recall all of them, unfortunately. But when I arrived there, there was someone who met me there, and they said, hey, we are ready. We're going to drive you to your hotel. You'll check in. Let's give you all the information. They were amazing, communicated so well with me. And I was just like, you know what? This is a really fun job. I mean, I like to travel. I like to meet new people. I like new experiences. And I was just kind of like feeling independent and like out there, like, wow, I'm traveling around in China on my own, which I kind of was, but kind of wasn't, which I kind of needed to do. Sometimes you have to break out and you need a little push. And that was definitely a good thing for me. So anyhow, I went to my first job. And essentially, they gave me some information beforehand. I had to memorize it, and I had to read and research a little bit on the wine, the companies that we were actually going to present. And I had to make a presentation. And it was wonderful. I went up, stood up in front of people, and mind you, I used to be shy, and I still am. Although I have learned to just get up and go and just do it. You just switch your brain. So I got up and I made a presentation, and I even spoke, I spoke in English, obviously, but I also spoke in some very, very, very poor Chinese, but it was fun. I had a great time, went around, you do essentially cheers and talk to people. They also have a thing in China, it's called ganbei. Ganbei means dry glass. So essentially what you're doing is you're cheers and you're drinking, but when you say ganbei, that is when it's rough, because what they do, and I don't know if it's every culture around there, but I sure know people are doing it. You drink and then they tip the glass upside down so you know that it is a dry glass. That one I don't recommend starting out with. That's a heads up on that one. Otherwise, I had a great time. That was the beginning of many different trips. Here's the irony. I'm not a huge drinker. I went through a phase in college, or actually after college, and I had my fun. And even there, I did drink, and you know, but always in moderation. And right now, I'm absolutely just not even going there. But the funny thing is I had to drink wine, and so this is one of the best, ways to find out how to slow your pace. If you're going to be an ambassador for a company that requires you to drink for the job, on the job, with people in a different situation, and make a presentation, learn how to pace yourself. So that is my advice on that one. It was a great experience. I loved my friend Lele. We ended up being friends. Some of the cool thing is we would do the presentations, set out these amazing banquets, these meals. They would do entertainment, they'd have dancers, they'd have music. We'd do the presentation, they'd have a whole show. Sometimes they'd gift us with these like amazing gifts. We're like, are you serious? You know, just, it was incredible. As great as all of that was, and I got paid, obviously, and travel and really cool stuff, and lots of cool food. I got to go to the street markets, and I loved it. They're night markets, essentially. So you go, and it's after night. Everyone takes their blankets, and they'll put it on the street, and they'll have purses, they'll have flowers, they'll have all sorts of things, and you get to go look. I love these things. It's culturally, you know, what's going on here and now. I loved the style. They're completely different than what I had seen in America. I think they're a little more forward thinking, quite frankly. They're really cool. And I just enjoyed it. I loved going out there. I loved meeting with people. I had a side note, and I'll explain it in another video. Because I look different, I have no doubts in my mind that is why I was hired. I'm not gonna, you know, kid myself. And I think anyone in China could get the job if you look different. That's, you know, my honest opinion. The thing is people did treat me differently because I look different. I will go over all of this. There's good and bad with that. But the good thing is you got to meet people who normally you couldn't see, you know, and I got to meet a bunch of cute little kids, just hang out and just be a lot of fun with them. And it was just real in that sense that you could just chill with people. Anyway, there's so many benefits with being a spokesmodel or spokeswoman or ambassador, however they went all over those, for wine. And as fabulous as that is, there's so many other benefits: meeting people, experiencing life, and having fun, and making money at the same time. Anyhow, if you go to China, I highly recommend it. I don't know how to honestly get the job otherwise, because it was a very strange circumstance for me. I had randomly quite a few job offers. It was very strange. I don't even know how to explain it, like literally on the streets there. But this one was really strange when they called my house and all of that. Anyhow, I would recommend it if they give you a call. Obviously check them out. Obviously make sure your visas and everything is completely 100% legit. You have to, especially in China. Make sure everything's on the up and up, and go and have a blast. The driver didn't speak a word of English, and I didn't speak so much Chinese at first. I mean, it was sufficient, but not great, and you know, that's a whole other story. But the funny thing is he would sometimes treat me like a child, like, no, 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 you know. And I actually learned a lot of Chinese from him because it was just such a hilarious interaction. There's just so many amazing benefits from stepping out of your box and trying something new and being grateful for it. If you ever get the job, have fun, be safe. You definitely have to be safe also. Don't drink too much. Very much pace yourself, and drink your water and have a blast. Enjoy it. I loved living in China. I loved all the experiences. And surprisingly, I loved a wine job, and now I absolutely just don't drink once, whatever. So there you go. That's life. Anyhow, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I will be telling a lot more stories about my time in China, actually Dominican Republic, also possibly England, life in general. So make sure to hit subscribe and listen to more stories. Thank you.